Okay, whatever. No, so it's only 5 hours the first day, 4 hours the second day, and 3 hours.
The people that won the race, will they be there?
Yeah.
You
Well,
talk to them or you don't want to?
oh no, they're gonna be a 2-person. I'm gonna be a 4-person. The reason why we're doing 4-person is there's more people in that category, so there's more competition.
You change positions?
No.
Always the same position?
Well, not always, well, it depends on.
I mean, on this trip, you'll always stay in the same
Yeah, I'm
position?
gonna be in position number 2. Yeah.
You like that?
I've never done it before. I've done the first person and the last person. This is my first time doing this.
Potter's gonna call out putt or whatever.
He's gonna be 3rd person. We got Potter 73, I'm 63, the other guy's 60, and the other guy is 30. So we got a young kid, the young kid in the back. Let him
You
steer.
better pull.
Yeah, let him steer.
We're good.
We're good, okay. Stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We make comment about the plan. All right, can we get the approval for the agenda for today?
Second.
Okay, Mike. All those in favor?
Aye.
I can get a minute for the board minutes for the August 11th meeting. Motion.
So moved.
Mike, any additions, changes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody participation? We checked the computer, nobody there, so nobody in public here, so it's good. Old business, just from what I, at the last board meeting, we're gonna bring the contract back, but we got, Rick, if you want to elaborate, if I say something wrong or out of place, but Carolyn, our special counsel, said that the bargaining team signed off on the tentative contract, and then the board approved them, so there's no need for the board to review the tentative contract once it comes back from the union, because all they're doing is approving, changing what was already in the contract and just replacing with the new language that you guys already approved. So if you guys don't have any issues, what I'll do is when I get the tentative back and they send the print back, which I think is it's at Carolyn's office right now. She's reviewing it. Once she reviews it, then she's going to send it to the town. I will forward that to you, give you a chance to look at it. And then if you guys don't have any issues with it, when I hear back from you, I will sign the contract so you guys know. But I'll give you guys the opportunity to look at it prior to me signing it. That way, you might pick up on something that we may have missed or she missed. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Next, new business. Walt's here.
Before we get to that one old business item, next week, the Owasco Fire Department is gonna have the final vote on transferring that property up in the hamlet to us where the park is. I gave them a diagram. It took me forever to get it done, but I finally got it done. I gave it to them. They're gonna say, okay, next week. And then the next step at that point would be we'd have to get it surveyed.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Very good. So I'll put that in minutes then, Tammy. Okay, good. All right, then Walt's here to talk about a tree inventory for us to possibly get some grant money, and he can explain that to you.
Last week, the tree board discussed some items they thought were important enough to solicit your input and approval. In general, the tree planting continues. Target is to do 12 trees on residence property in the right of way per season. And thanks to Tammy's notification, we've gotten a few calls, plus the work we've done last 2 seasons generates more interest. So we're looking at doing a planting late October. The scouts are likely to be involved, and we're looking at ordering trees next week. Keep you up to date on that. This summer, everyone in New York State had hoped to learn if there was going to be a new round of grant money distributed by the New York State DEC. This is federal dollars that are passed through grants. They're quarterbacked by the State Forestry Office and made available to municipalities in the state. The last time they funded was 2019. During the summer meeting, we hoped to have an announcement. None was made. The word on the street is there will be money. Estimates vary between $3 and $4 million will be made available for all the cities, municipalities in New York State. So we just don't know how much, and we don't know what the conditions will be. There's a meeting of a regional New York State chapter for Central New York next week in Syracuse, week and a half or so, one of the hotels. Maybe we'll get an announcement then, but we're supposed to know in the next couple of months if money's available. In 2019, they made money available for what they call management projects. You know that there have been serious tree failures on the avenues this summer. A big tree came down on Havens. An owner came back from from Florida, was very concerned about their tree. We requested that come down. There's been a tree that lost a very large limb up on 2nd Avenue. We know this is in our future. And so what we think we need to do is do a very detailed inventory of about 200 trees going from Melrose as far south as Green Links and from Owasco Road over to Oak Ridge Road. We're gonna want to do a detailed review of about 200 trees, medium, large, and very large trees. We need the data to be very specific. We're basically going to be doing a risk assessment on each tree to come up with a detailed request for proposals. We would send them out to firms that we've worked with regularly. I think we should even announce it in the newspaper. Reason being, for us to compete for management money, right? That would be cost sharing for actually dealing with some of these trees. We will need to submit quotations from private sector contractors. And if we ask them to just say, oh, please go look at these 200 trees, they're so busy, they're not going to do it. But if I give them a form that lists a tree by size and problem, by address, and say, what's it going to cost, guys, for this tree for removal, that tree for a limb, okay? Then I think we can get them to pony up a quotation. We get at least 2 quotations, we submit an application. And if in 2022, they are offering management money the same way they did in 2019, then based on 2019, they gave up to $60,000 in matching money for what they call management work, which is doing what we need to do up here. And no one wants to see a tree come down unnecessarily, even when it has to come down. The evidence is in the cards. We're losing these trees. So I looked at the numbers and, come up with what we call a level 2 risk assessment per tree. Got to revamp the database. I think we're looking at the most $4,000 to have me do this. And I think it's money well spent. If you don't want to do it, we could try to figure out a cheap and easier way to do it, but I don't think it's going to satisfy DEC. I really think they're going to want to see very detailed information. But we do know where the trees are. We've got them classed by size class. We've got them in their canopy and their general condition qualified. But I really think they're going to want more detailed information. So the good news is, your program is working. And the beauty of it is, here's a neighbor, he comes up, I think it was Mr. Guido on Haven, said, look, I'm really concerned about this tree. Go out, we do an assessment. I notify Mr. Bruno. Mr. Bruno calls Kramer come out, and they fix the tree. So we have a completely closed circle. Every time a concern is raised to any of you or Mr. Bruno, we go out, we assess the tree, we come up with a report. Action is taken as necessary. That's your best insurance policy of all, is that nobody's ignoring anything. But, doing removals up there en masse is going to be very expensive. And so the question is, do you really want to shoot for a grant?
In today's pile, when I was reviewing today, I saw 2 Cranbrook bills. One was for 2,000, one was for 3,000 for 1 tree apiece. That's $5,000 just for 2 trees. We get, because we have to pay municipal rate. If a homeowner went and did it, it'd be half the cost. but we pay that much. So if we can get half that cost share done, we could get more, we get twice as much done as we did before, and I think it would more than pay for the cost of the inventory. So that's my opinion. So I'd like to hear what anybody else would like to say.
I wonder if this inventory should be part of the, I guess we have an asset management program. Should that be part of the tree? If they're town assets, should be part of the asset management program where we have water and sewer assets, pumps and properties and everything else.
Yeah, it's commonly called green infrastructure. Whereas opposed to all that other stuff is green, you know.
But that program might have,
Yeah,
might
yeah, it
have
is.
a subject category for trees or whatever it's called. I don't know.
And once we have, if we do have it done, I believe we can put it, talk to Darcel, we can put it under our gas fee bookkeeping, and we can count it toward our total value of assets in the town. Because, and again, this reminds me a little bit like the FEMA money. If we didn't do it, we didn't fill out that application and do the paperwork, we wouldn't qualify for the money that we're getting from FEMA, which is gonna be well over $100,000. So.
I think it's a good idea. The only problem I've got is that my wife and I were having a dispute over whether a tree was worth a crap or not. And I brought it up to Walt and he took her side. So, I mean.
Was this one on public land or in your back?
it's up on- Yeah, so,
Well, that's,
uh,
he always goes with. So the questions before you is, do you want to spend up to $4,000 to do the inventory?
Yes,
Anybody?
I think so.
So can I get a motion?
motion.
second.
Second.
We'll put it at the end, Tammy, so you don't have to change anything around. So we'll just label it at the end thing. So
Okay,
you're good.
all right, then I'll get on it. And as soon as I hear about grant availability, I will let you know.
All right.
Yeah, if we can get some.
You have the whole board's email address. I'll send it to the whole board. So it saves me a step from doing it.
I mean,
It'd be me too, so that way I could put it in the folder.
yes, sir.
And a subfolder for trees.
And we, unfortunately, the way the state goes, they put all kinds of limitations on access to funding. So hopefully we can find a way to get in. And then we have to do the application, which is the nightmare part.
Okay, and maybe
Thank
on
you.
your way home, take a second look at that tree.
Oh,
Like a second opinion. Second opinion.
I need to send you the property right permission slip to let me on the land.
Take a second.
Ugly tree, it's like a haunted house.
No. Every tree, he loves
You
it.
never ask a question you don't know the answer to.
Oh, man, he-
That's why you're an
Trees
investigator.
on public
Should've-
land, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought for sure I had that one in the bag.
No, you didn't.
All right.
I
All
got
right.
one, I got some down.
You know what, he'll come and look at it for you.
That's really what I want.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
good
want
one.
to take it down unless
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah, he'll let you know.
I can talk.
Okay, yep, I'll get you his number. Communications, I sent everybody a copy of the letter from IMS. So the issue here is when we first did water bills, when I first started, the way it was done was the town mailed out a card with an envelope, with a stamp on the envelope to return the card to us. So we're paying for the card to get mailed out and an envelope and the envelope to come back. So we're paying 2 postages at the regular rate and with an envelope. And then we only got like a 25 to 30% return rate. So we weren't getting proper cash flow. So we went to the new meters and got the electronic reading. And then we went to this IMS we electronically sent the reading to IMS and they automatically took it and billed by postcard. And we were paying them roughly at the time to start off to be like 40 cents a resident, where before the postage was, we were paying more in postage and not getting the results. So we went from going 3 books, 1 book a month. We had 3 books of water billing. We did one section of town each month. So it was like 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, try to alleviate some of the issues with the clerk's office. So we're going to look at all options, going back to splitting up to 3 different books, to see if we can get a different vendor to provide the mailing for us, kind of like they do at doctor's offices.
Mhm.
They just electronically send it to Medident and they send it out. And so the problem that we have is Williamson Software is the software that 90% of the towns in New York State use for their software programming. Trying to get ourselves in communication with the software people right now to see if they can come up with a solution for us, to see if we can even do it in-house. So we're looking at in-house option, we're looking at going out and doing vending options. The way it works is we just did a reading and IMS is doing the last billing. So we're good for 3 months, but they gave us a 60-day notice, so they won't be doing our next billing. So we got 90 days to figure this out. So we're working on it, trying to get how we're gonna do the water.
What does everybody else do?
I don't remember at this point. I cannot remember.
I mean, it's one of those things where
Yeah.
it's, don't reinvent the wheel. If
No,
there's,
but
a
troopers-
standard.
There really is only Auburn. There's really only Auburn that does it and us. And so we're talking two different things.
Troopers doing it in-house.
Yeah.
We went out and read the meters, or we shoot the meters and they come back and run it through.
Yeah, but how many people you got in troop?
Oh, God, there had to be 100, so.
Yeah, we got 15.
No, I know,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
got a lot.
it's- Yeah. I can't-
No, I don't suggest that.
Yeah. Well, if we did in-house, then we would probably have to go to do one book a
Be a
month.
lot for the girls. too.
Yeah, so.
No, that was better. I'm sorry, but that was better. When I started, it was one book a month. And then we all of a sudden got dumped all 1,600 people in 1 month. And here's where different issues. If it doesn't get out in time, it still isn't out today. We've lost 9 days of collecting, which means like Pat Holt, my third deputy, it does a majority of it because it's a huge process. It's a very slow program to input each payment. And we get really crushed and buried when we lose a week or two and putting it in. So then I have to have Pat come in here and pay overtime to her, not over 40 hours overtime, but more hours than her typical 8 hours in order to get it all done. So that's where, and it gets very stressful, and it does get very stressful. And already I've been all upset today and keep checking the mail and it's not in the mail today. So that part gets stressful, at least before.
IMS hasn't built them out yet. Is that what it is?
I don't know if they got them out or what. They don't ever really give us a good answer on
Right, we
it.
can
So,
call.
but they're, nobody has them as yet. And we've had, on top of that, the residents are all calling thinking they lost their bill. They didn't get it. So where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
You
So
always, you call, ask for your bill?
I never call.
I know they do too. Yeah, I had 3 just today.
Well, they're waiting at the mailbox.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if they think it got lost, they're all
They got nothing
nervous
else
and.
to do.
I'm happy if it doesn't show up.
You know, but we'll see what comes up with everything. I just wish we knew when it was really coming up, because before I would have Pat scheduled and then they wouldn't come, or all of a sudden we got 30 people at the counter. Believe it or not, we have a huge traffic of people that actually come in and pay.
Mhm.
Other towns.
You're
don't
cutting in.
come
I got
Oh,
I got an
stop.
over under how long
Stop, I
this
have
meeting's
to
gonna last
explain.
for.
Okay, go ahead. I'm done.
All right,
I'll
thank
get
you.
a master.
All right, so any questions on the billing?
No,
All right, so
Okay.
first resolution, or actually the second one, but it'll be the first on 101, is to withdraw up to $10,900. And that Darcel sent out the explanation for this, because, we originally bought 10, they only shipped 5. We asked where they were, and they sent 10 more, and then they gave us a discount. And not only the prices had gone up, but the prices went, we're getting the look, and we're not paying shipping, so we're saving quite a few money, but we had the money in our thing. So any questions? Motion to discuss?
Motion.
second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
This is the recommended budget mods that ourselves put together. Motion to discuss. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Who were both of those?
It was-
The charting.
Charlie and Mike.
Pick your poison. There.
There you go.
Next resolution is to audit and payment of claims. Motion to discuss.
So moved.
Second.
Tony and Fred, any discussion on them? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody want to bring anything up in open session?
No, but I did make 104 will be the Walt one and
Mhm.
105 will be the Jern. So
Okay, Yep.
Okay.
So do we vote on, well?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we
Okay,
did.
good. All right, good. All right. So any motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
I win.
Was it what you wanted? Be up by 4:45?